Okay, you've got this. A lot of times we jump right to self-love. We want to have self-unconditional love, and that is exactly what our destination should be. However, that can be a mountain to climb. So one of the steps on that mountain is self-compassion. And in this, all we're talking about is being kind to yourself. So let's talk about how to do that in this video. Self-compassion is one of the first steps to many different things. Including self-love, there's also trusting yourself, gaining self-esteem and self-worth, mental health, fostering better relationships, coping with challenges, stress management, physical health in general, and really overall life satisfaction. So let's break this down one step at a time. The first one is speak to yourself kindly. Sometimes we're very harsh with ourselves. Most of the time we're very harsh with ourselves. Why? Well, because we know all of our mistakes and we know all of our inner thoughts and we know what we're good at and what we're not good at. And we also judge ourselves and decide that we're terrible at so many different things. So wait. Stop jumping to that conclusion. Stop being in that judgment and just treat yourself a little bit more kindly. Think about it as though you're talking to somebody that you care deeply about, someone that's really important to you, a friend or a family member. Maybe it's even somebody who's a little bit sensitive. So you're not just, bam, you're terrible at this, and bam, you're not very good at that. No. Talk to the person, understand, you know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. Yeah, everybody's got them. So you're going to be a little bit more kind. You're going to be a little bit more open to pointing out, well, yeah, I understand that bad thing happened, but you're really good at this and you're really good at that. This difference, this slight tone difference could make all the difference for you. So take the time to be supportive of yourself. Take the time to be encouraging. We take on the voice of whatever that we think is appropriate at the time. We change our personalities based on the circumstance, based on the other people that are around. So right now, most likely your personality that you're choosing for speaking to yourself is very harsh, it's very impatient or judgmental. Okay, so there's another version of you. There's a compassionate version of you. There's a friendly version of you. There's an understanding version of you. Take that version of you and use it when you're speaking to yourself. Another step in this process is just to be in observance. Go ahead and take a look at yourself, take a look at your thoughts from just an arbiter, somebody who is outside of the situation. Maybe it's your higher self, maybe it's your spirit guides, and just observe what's going on. Oh, you're having this sort of thought right now. Well, that's an interesting thought. I could see where that might come from. I get it. You have this history. You've had these circumstances. You've had this situation. You have this genetic disposition. All of these things can be understood. We can see it from the perspective of, hey, we know the whole picture. And we are also in that compassionate viewpoint. We are in that understanding viewpoint, and we're in a non-judgmental viewpoint. We're just observing. This is the harshness that you judge yourself with, and it totally makes sense that you would judge yourself with that harshness. That is something that you learn from your parents. That is something that you learn from your experiences, other people in your life. When you consider all those factors have led up to the person, to the amazing being that you are now. Another one is recognize that imperfections are okay. This is one of the biggest ones because perfectionism will destroy. If you are trying to achieve something that is impossible to achieve by any human, then you're going to continuously judge yourself by that impossibility. And so you will always judge yourself as not good enough. Recognize that imperfections are a part of life, that all humans are imperfect. As a matter of fact, everything is imperfect. There is nothing that is perfect. Or we could look at it a different way, and everything is perfect already with all their flaws included. So give yourself the opportunity to be perfect with flaws or imperfect like everybody else. That perfectionism is a finish line that you can never cross. Another big one is self-forgiveness. It is very unlikely, unless you've actively taken on this practice, to actually forgive yourself. Yes, we talk about forgiving others who have wronged us, and that is very important to do for ourselves. But wow, we often neglect to forgive ourselves. We've always done our best, depending on the circumstance. We've done our best, depending on what kind of information that we have had at the time. We have always done our best based on our own genetic disposition. We've always done our best. So forgive yourself for anything that didn't quite go right. Forgive yourself for maybe hurting someone else. Forgive yourself for hurting yourself. Accept your emotional experiences. Yes, you can have fear, you can have disappointment, you can have rage, you can have impatience, you can have guilt and shame. These are all okay. Take a moment to recognize them. One of the things that I ask people all the time is, what is the dominant emotion that you're feeling right now? Take a moment to ask yourself that. What is the dominant emotion I'm feeling right now? Oh, I'm feeling shame over this. Oh, it's fear that this isn't going to work out. It's okay. Emotions are normal. And sometimes our dominant emotion is frustration over one of our other emotions. Okay, so we're doubling up on the negative emotions. The first thing to do to get rid of that is to say, I accept that I would have that emotion. It's natural. It's normal. Yes, it's been going on for too long, I've decided. Relax and understand that you're a human being and emotions are a big part of this experience here. So acknowledge them, accept them, and let yourself off the hook. So in that first one, we were talking about that self-talk, how important it is to be compassionate. And we were talking about the different types of personalities that you have available to you. You have all kinds of personalities available to you. And if the compassionate one, the kind one, doesn't quite work for you, then there's another one that you might want to try on for size. And that's the I am amazing one. I can do anything. I can handle all of this stuff. This is what I'm here for. There are so many great voices that we can use when we do our self-talk that we forget are even available to us. We get into this habit of just listening to the one or creating the one and then listening to it. So create a different one. Apply a different one to you. Imagine that you've let go of your job. At first you feel terrible. You're thinking to yourself, oh no, I'm never going to be able to figure this out. This is a disaster. How am I going to pay for this and that? But at some point you say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Maybe that was the best thing that could have happened. Maybe that's exactly what I needed. Maybe I'm going to get a better job and I'm going to move to a better city or I'm going to make better friends or whatever. Well, what is that? That's a voice. That is a natural voice that's available to you when things are going wrong. Well, why can't you access that voice anytime you want to? That voice is powerful and it brings you out of all kinds of misery. So tap into that one when you're talking to yourself. They're all there and they're all sincere. They're not lying. You're not making stuff up. You're not just doing affirmations. Oh, I do believe this, blah, blah, blah. And when you don't actually believe it, it doesn't work. But there's actual truth that's rummaging around in that brain of yours. All you got to do is access it. And finally, you can get a little bit of assistance from doing a meditation or a healing session that is specific to self-compassion. And of course, voila, there is one available and I've just released it yesterday and you can click right here and I'll make it available to you so you can check it out. This is a 20-minute activation that goes into changing the subconscious belief that you don't deserve to have kindness and compassion. That's a major factor that could be going on here, is that you have prejudged yourself at a subconscious level, and that subconscious is saying, no, it's impossible for me to speak to myself in this way because I don't deserve to. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give me your thoughts. Tell me, did it help? Tell me if there are other ones that I didn't think of that you can post in the comments, and other people will read them and they'll have even more ammunition to handle this problem. And what's the problem? It's the negative self-talk. This is a solution where we can finally talk to ourselves with a little bit of kindness. Because don't we deserve a little bit of kindness? I love you unconditionally. You got this. And I'll see you in the next video.